This is Mill Ends Park. No, wait, this is. Mill Ends Park of Portland, Oregon is the smallest park in the world, measuring only 2 feet or roughly 2/3 of a meter across. The site that would later become the park was meant for a light pole, but for whatever reason the pole didn't come. Weeds began to sprout and residents noticed it. In particular, a man named Dick Fagan, a columnist for the Oregon Journal, planted flowers in the hole and named it the Mill Ends after his column. In his column he began to flesh out the park's origin. One day he looked out of his office window, which overlooked the street, and saw a leprechaun digging in the hole. He hurried down and grabbed the leprechaun, meaning that he had earned himself a wish, and he wished for his very own park. The leprechaun, in its deviosity, granted his wish, but with this tiny, tiny park. He decided that now that he had his own park, he had to look after it, and you can see here Fagan himself tending to the park. The head leprechaun of the mythical colony that lived in the park, Patrick O'Toole, published a threat to the mayor in Fagan's column, daring him to evict him and his colony from the park, referring to the 11 o'clock curfew on all city parks. Luckily, no legal action was taken against the leprechauns, and they were allowed to stay in the park after 11 p.m. Fagan died in 1969, but the local residents seem to love the idea and have picked up the project since then, and it was dedicated as an official park on St. Patrick's Day 1976. The park has undergone many evolutions over the years, including once when its tree was stolen and then returned out of guilt one day after a replacement tree had been planted. Officials from Burntwood in the UK complained to Guinness, claiming that Prince's Park should hold the record because it has a fence around it. In response, local residents of Portland erected a small fence just a few inches tall around the park. Students from the nearby high school picnicked at the park in 1956, and you can see here in 1960, 2 men planted the yellow rose of Texas in the park using a Colt 45 gun to blast the dirt. That was the Mill Ends Park. Something snappy.